let's look through my zine collection together. This is a big mixture of traditional zines, little artist comic zines, some progress zines, stuff like that. And I thought it would be really, really fun to have a look through them and show everyone like my zine collection. I'm really happy with the ones that I have, and I really love them, and I really want more people to get into collecting zines. And I thought this would hopefully inspire some people. So I'm going to immediately dive in with one of my favorite zines I have ever had. I actually only bought this last year. This is by Part-Time Punk Press, and it is a teeny tiny, very like traditional book style. It's like properly bound. It's so cute. This is just like some duct tape, and I really love the religious imagery on the outside of it. And then it has for adults eyes only, and then this is a whole bunch of sex worker numbers, and it's very cool. And then it just has this here in the middle, and then Part-Time Punk Press. I love this, and this really changed my perspective on zines when I got it, and I was like, damn, you can just make stuff like this. Like, the medium of zines is so versatile, and I really unbelievably love this. And I really recommend Part-Time Punk Press. Her work is so cool. This is one I picked up at the end of year show at the local art university, and it's just like a really little recipe zine. I really love zines like this, and I really love getting little recipes from people, and I think this is just laid out so nicely. I love the little illustrations. I love how simple this is. One of my favorite things is that you can review the food and review the recipes and rate it and stuff. That is the artist there, but it is so fun. This is one I picked up at Thought Bubble in, I think, 2022. It is just a Sappho quote, but I really loved the progress and the very simple idea of just the decay of a statue. I thought this was just so unbelievably cool and interesting. Very cool, and I love it. This was one of my zines that I made during my time as one of the leaders of the Zine Society at my university. We did a session on making a zine about self-care, and this was the one that I made, and it was just kind of, it talked about having pets, eating good food, consuming media, what were my favorite medias at the time. And this was music and TV shows and like studio vlogs and stuff. And then just like a refill your picture concept. This one got a little bit water damaged, as you can see, but I really love this. I really miss this style of my work where I was doing a lot of collage and drawing combination. And I just really love my use of this kind of like wax paper. I think it added a really fun texture, especially on this page where you can see it's kind of wrinkled up a little bit with the glue. I just really love this, and it's like a really fun thing to be able to hold and remember from my time as the Zine Society leader. The next ones that I have are actually a pair. These are by the artist Minnie Small, and she did a whole selection of these little teeny tiny house watercolor paintings. This is really reminiscent of a time where I was like insane about watercolors, and I really loved it. And Minnie Small's work was so inspiring for me when I was like really into watercolor work. And these just are both a huge variety of different styles of homes and houses. And I really love these. I've like had them since maybe 2018, 2019, and I'm very fond of them. And they're just really cool little artist zines. We are starting to now get into my Risograph era. I bought this at Thought Bubble in 2023, I believe. I'm not sure if I don't think there is an artist credit on this, and it was the only thing that I picked up, which is a shame because their work was so cool. I believe it might have been a collective or a Risograph printer collective that were selling them. But I just loved the combination of drawing. I also just loved the illustration style, the use of Risograph. I would love to be able to make stuff this cool one day. And I just really liked the dual language. I thought this was really cool. And I loved that it was bound by string. Feels very homemade in the way that I love Risograph to be. The next scene that I have for you all is Fireworm and Iguana by Elliot Hanks. This is actually just like a mini comic zine. You'll see a lot of my zines at the beginning are these kind of style of fold out ones. You might be like, oh my god, what have you done to this? But it is the style of zine where you can fold it out into one big thing, and then you fold it back in, and it's back into its actual zine form. Yeah, this is a mini comic zine, and I really love the color palette and printing it on colored paper and how that plays with each other. And I just really love the illustration style. It's so cute. It was one of my favorite ones that I picked up, I believe, from 2023 Thought Bubble as well. This is another Risograph zine that I picked up. It is by Izzy Hellum. And this is just about walking home alone at night, and I really love the colors chosen in this Risograph, and I love the textures of it, these kind of repeated motifs. It was just really, really interesting, and I love Izzy's work, and I wish I could have way more zines, but this is one of my favorites. I just really, really love the fluorescent orange and blue combination. I believe it's blue. It's just so cool. I want to make so much more Risograph stuff like this that is as cool as this. This zine is actually one of my friend's zine. I'll struggle to summarize it because my friend will probably be watching this, but it's My Gender is Emo, and it's one of my favorite zines ever. I really love the illustration style that my friend chose, and I love, like, this is one of my favorite, like, little illustrations ever. It has so much character, and I'm obsessed with it. And like these 2 pages, overall, such a cool zine. But yeah, it is by my friend Cherry Clover, and I really recommend that you check out his work. I'll have another zine in here that is his, and I will also note when it's his. This is one of my first like text heavy zines that I have now in this list. It's The Myth of the Heterosexual Cowboy, and I really love this style of zine. It's so text heavy, and I really like this kind of style of taking images and making them into these really textured and interesting prints. And then this, I love it because it folds out into a big poster, like a big A3 poster there. And it's so cool, and I really, really, really love it. This one I didn't actually grab myself, one of my friends grabbed it for me at a market, but it's so cool. I really love the concept. This zine is by Dirt Ghoul. It is a anthological collaborative zine that has different contributors. As you can see, I'm in it. And it was on the theme of cowboys. This is a monthly zine. This is my work, and it was a very cool one to be a part of, and I really love the variety of illustrations in it. And I love when a zine also has like poetry or text of some sort. And this is my friend Cherry Clover's work, and it's just a really lovely one, and I'm really happy to have been a part of this. I love it. This zine was a gift from one of my friends. It is a collection of scenes from What We Do in the Shadows, illustrated, and I really love it. It's like such a fun thing to have. I'm obsessed with What We Do in the Shadows, although I haven't finished watching the last season, so no mention of that. But I really love this. It's just like a very cute and fun idea, and it was one of those ones where I was like, I can just make silly scenes like this. We are free to do things like this. So I really love it. The next zine is The Several Deaths of Saint Begone, or Begone, I'm not sure, by Letty Wilson. I love Letty Wilson's work so much. Their illustration style is unmatched. I would say this is like a combination of poetry and illustration, or some sort of like literary text and illustration. Like, oh my god, are you kidding me? It's so beautiful and so interesting, and I'm really obsessed with Letty's work as a whole. Really, really deeply, deeply obsessed. The next zine that I have is a very silly one. It is the Bowser and Luigi Are in Love like joke zine that became very serious. It is a collection of little comic skits, illustrations, and it's very silly and fun. It's one of the final things that Shortbox Comics published, and it really is, like, I'm obsessed with it. It's got such a charm to it. It is by Ethereal. It's like it's such a prized possession for me. It's like a really silly one that I love. But yeah, very cool. This is a progress zine of a comic called I See a Night. It is one of my favorite comics ever. And this really changed my life a little bit when it came to making comics myself. Like, looking through this progress zine was really, really, really cool. And like some of the comic pages, like this page, unbelievably cool to look at. And I love seeing all the sketches and the like behind the scenes work. And it's so stunning. And I just love process zines like this. I think having that insight into someone's process and the choices that they're making and what they kind of nail down early on and then what they have to revise, so cool. This is also a Shortbox comic one. The actual comic was also published by Shortbox Comics. Love this so much. Why Disco Elysium is so good is my own zine, which was just a complete brain dump of why I really fell in love with Disco Elysium as a video game, what I think it achieves, and why I think it grabs people so much. I have like full scans of this on my own like website, on my social media and everything, but I really loved making this zine. It was very healing. It was after quite an intense period of time and I felt really weird about art, and I made this and I was like, that's cool. I love making stuff like this. I really need to make more zines that are quite brain dumpy like this again, because I loved making this. The next zine that I have is one that actually genuinely may have changed my life. This was one of my first introductions into owning Risograph based stuff. I hadn't really seen very much Risograph before now. I believe I bought this at Thought Bubble 2022 as well. It could have been 2021, but I'm not sure how soon after COVID Thought Bubble started up again. This is just a Risograph anthology of drawings and work by two separate artists that I'll show you at the end, and it's just the way that they use Risograph, the color combinations. Like, I think about this, the way the black is formed so much. I love this page so much with all of the different flowers, all of the different bugs and creatures, and then I love the kind of radical change into this really graphic comic style. Oh, I'm just like, I wish you could see this in real life, because the fluorescent colors like this is unbelievably good, and I still really want to make stuff like this all the time. I think this is one of maybe the most inspiring pieces I've ever bought, and here are the two artists there for you. This is genuinely like a prized possession to me, and I like to revisit it constantly when I'm thinking about Risograph. This is a poetry Risograph zine that I bought from a local queer bookshop, and this, like, the idea of doing a Risograph written zine was life-changing to me. I was like, damn, you can just Risograph anything. It is just a printing method. But it is by Dyke House Press, and it's specifically about Dyke love. And one of the things I love when poetry plays with formats, so this particular poem goes crazy for me. It is a 5-page long flowchart poem, and I'm actually sickeningly obsessed with it. It is called Every Woman I Love is Weird About Food, I believe that's the name of it. And I'm just sick and twistedly obsessed with it. The pink is so vibrant, and everything about this is incredible. Dyke House Press has done more work since and has made another anthology zine, I believe. But I'm in love with this. I love seeing it amongst all of my other zines. I love opening it and flicking through and finding a poem and just reading through. I really recommend people picking up stuff like this and taking a chance on work like this. I recommend, if you can get your hands on a copy, do. This is Scalars, which is a post-apocalyptic climbing guide zine. It is like a world building zine by my friend Flo, and it is genuinely unbelievably cool. The concept of doing this kind of like world building style zine is really world changing for me, and when they were working on it I was like, man, I have to make something like this. And then now owning it, I'm like, man, I really have to make something like this. I really love these like character sheets. I really love these illustrations, the full breakdown, like the outfit breakdown, the attention to detail, like the way this wraps you up in the world is really incredible, and I'm obsessed with it, and I really need to make something like this. I just love it. It's so cool, and I really recommend you pick up a copy if you ever get the chance. This specific artist has really changed my brain chemistry when it comes to art. The ethereal energy of their illustration style, this like both hard edges and these blurred out like I don't know how to describe it. It's just unbelievably stunning. I am sick and twistedly obsessed with it, and like the grids, the combination of this kind of like otherworldly ethereal style work with these scientific illustrations is unbelievably cool. And I like how they challenge the comic style all the time, and these like panel styles like this. Oh, so cool. I'm obsessed with it. I'm sickeningly obsessed with it, and I really recommend that you check them out. It's Oskmund on Instagram, and that's their website there as well. I saw their work for the first time when I was in third year university, and I think it genuinely altered my brain chemistry, and I was like, God, this cool stuff is so cool. I'd love to make something like this, or this kind of like including this medical like diagram element and into your work that is still very emotional and ethereal is so cool. It's just so cool. So The next zine that I have is actually like a big collaborative zine that I got to take part of. It's also a Risograph at the Leeds Zine Fair last year. It was just during the fair, they had the Risograph machine and you could submit work. So this was one of mine, and then the other one is in the back somewhere. I really struggle to find it every single time. There it is. But it includes like tons of people's work. There was like 2 colors available if you wanted them. I really wish I had done a 2-color one, but I actually wasn't there. Technically, I was helping out one of my friends and I had to go. So, but it's really cool. I thought this was a very fun thing to do, and Footprint has copies available if you want to see what everyone made. I really love this cat one, it's so good. But yeah, it was really cool introduction to like doing little Risograph stuff really quickly, and goes to show that you don't have to be super organized to do Risograph, and you can just go for it. The next zine that I have is much more of a like illustration zine that combines a whole bunch of stuff. This is by Becky Cloonan, and it's like a black and white illustration zine, and it is beautiful and stunning. And Becky's ability to create these contrast scenes, it's so beautiful and so simple and stunning, and I like to revisit this a lot whenever I'm struggling, and I really love the constant swords throughout it. It is just so cool, and as someone who's obsessed with like knights and knighthood, it is one of my favorite things ever. I really love this drawing especially. I'm like sick and twistedly obsessed with it. It is just a very cool collection of Becky Cloonan's work, and I love it. And I love this, and I love the spot UV that she did. Stunning. This is a zine that I also picked up from the Bookish Tribe, which is a local bookshop, and I haven't had a chance to actually probably read through it yet, but it is just a zine of masculine leaning gender variant artists from the 19th and 20th century. And this is like a very text heavy zine, but I really love how it highlights people from genuinely across the world who have been gender variants of some kind. And I really love the constant validation that queer people have always been here. That's so true. And I love that it highlights people that I've never heard of before, and I really do need to have like a proper read through. I also love the combination of the people's artworks in the middle here, and it's so cool. It's a really fun one. It is by Transmask Studies, so you can find more information about it over there. But it's a very cool one. I love information zines like this. I'm going to show these 2 zines together actually, because they are by the same person. They're by Leo Watson, who does art here local in Leeds as well. This one is about the cost of living crisis and food insecurity, and I really love the way that Leo uses colors in this one, and it's just really cool. And I love the textures and the kind of like little notes of like, and 70p bread that is now 90p. There's like a later one that's like, yeah, 89p loo roll now 119. And these kind of like really small moments of price increases really hammers home the feeling of that kind of food insecurity, the constant awareness of how much stuff costs. And it's really beautiful. And it's one of my favorite zines that I have. I think Leo is an incredibly skilled zine maker, and I really love this, and I just love the cover style a lot. It's very eye-catching to me. And then the next one that's also by Leo is Leeds, which is just about traveling between Leeds and Halifax. And it's one of the ones that also changed my perspective of zine making through this usage of like this greaseproof paper or this like tracing paper. And it's so, it just adds this intrigue, and then it comes around again at the end of the zine with these people's sketches, and I love it. And I really love these like sketches of people in transport. It is really cool, and another one that like makes me feel a lot about traveling. And I think being a uni student, we all travel so much from home, and the experience of living somewhere else that is like, maybe now you're home but maybe isn't, and maybe you're still going home but aren't you always home. I really like this. It kind of made me think a lot about my own travels and the amount that I spend in Leeds train station. This zine is also again by my friend Cherry Clover. It is 18 Going Extinct, which is a collaborative zine that he made. I feature in it as well, and it is a zine about connections between emo and gender identity and expression, and it is really cool, and I really love everyone's work that's in it. I am deeply, deeply obsessed with this. I love the combination of visuals and text. And I will show you my entry as well in a second. But yeah, this is my entry. I did a little comic, and I love this so much. It's just so cool. It's such a cool combination, and here are all the people that contributed. Such a cool zine. These last couple of zines I'm actually going to show all together. They are by Shy Bairns. I believe that's how you pronounce it, to be honest. I'm never sure. And they are a zine collective that makes a whole bunch, and this was a like big job lot of zines that I got all at once, and a lot of them are things we liked this month, which I'll show you them all together. This is the things we like this, yeah. So things we liked this month was literally just a combination of things that all of them liked that month, and this is one of my favorite ones. I think the format of this zine was really, really cool, of like you pull it open and there's past and future. They are super text heavy zines, and I just really love the kind of style that they go for with these. There's not a huge amount of like visual art in it. It is lots of photography and writing, but I really like it. And then there are more of the things we liked this month. I really like the style of printing that they go for as well. It is kind of reminiscent of Risograph without actually being Risograph. And I just love this introduction into these people's lives and these little like snippets of things they liked that month. And I love summary stuff like that. It's kind of like what I tend to go for with things like podcasts. I like stuff like this where it's recapping of positive stuff that people like. And I like that they know what month it is each time. This one was also very fun. I really like the colors that they chose and the way that they do all the photos. Very fun. And then this is the final things we like this month that I have. Again, love the colors, love the printing style. I don't have a huge amount to say about these, unfortunately. I just really like the concept of them, and I really like reading through them and having these little glimpses into people's lives. And then this was just a print that came with one of them. And then this is just one of the zines that they have called The Only Pizza Shop Where I Live Burnt Down. And again, it's like quite text heavy, but then you have some visual art here. They're really like mixed media style zines, and I really love that about them. Just overall, very cool. They're all very digital as well, which I think are interesting. As you can see, this is the print that kind of like came with it. Yeah, very cool. And that's it. That's all of them. That's every zine that I own and love and enjoy. I really want to go through stuff like my art books as well, but I really wanted to start with my zines because knowing that they are coming from such core individuals, and a lot of them, I know the people who they come from, or I've met them in person, I've met them at a market, I've met them at Thought Bubble. That's really important for me, and I really love supporting these local people and my friends, and I love zine making, I love small publishing. It's something I'm so passionate about, so I hope you really liked going through my zines, and I hope this inspires you to collect more of them and engage more with zine making, and maybe even make your own. That's what I want. I want you guys to collect more and also make your own more. But yeah, thank you so much for coming along with me. I hope you really liked having a look at them. I hope you got something out of this, and I will see you next time.